Disney Drop is happening tomorrow, introducing the Lenticular cards, and we're getting the likes of Donald Duck, Daisy Duck, Pluto, Goofy, Mickey and Minnie all alongside this drop. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing just what you need to know about the drop, my own market strategy and my price predictions for what these could sit at and what they could rise to. So let's get started. Welcome in everyone, my name is Andy and I appreciate you taking some time out your day to come and watch this video on the channel. Just before we get going, I would like to thank all of you for 7,000 subscribers. It has been mental that we have been able to reach these milestones so quickly, and just the fact that we're able to get to there at this period of time already has been insane. So thank you so much for the support, for everything that you're doing. I really appreciate everything that's going on, and I'm going to continue to make the best content that I possibly can for all of you. Inside the Vault is a series I do where we discuss the drops that are going to be upcoming and trying to understand a little bit more on how to find the patterns and maybe what prices could be at. So again, this one is going to be a little bit harder as we're getting a completely new type of drop. Croc and Batman, I seem to get it not too bad. I'm going to try my best here to guess what these could be at in my own market strategy, as well as a little bit behind what you should be paying attention to when it comes to some drops like this. Now, Disney have already been on Veve, and they were first announced on, I believe, October the 28th, where we discussed the partnership, as well as the golden moments being the first that were coming out. Now, the golden moments were the FAs of Disney, what they really represented and are still incredibly sought after. But in the beginning, that really wasn't the case. However, what we tend to find is that once something has been released once before that maybe didn't do too well in the beginning, but became something that was extremely successful, people started to realize just how important some of these things are. So now that we're getting Disney at a time where the Disney Golden Moments did significantly rise from where they were at maybe a couple months back, people are probably not going to sleep on the Disney stuff maybe as much as they had done when it was first released. And that makes me think that the prices are maybe going to be a little bit higher than what they would originally be if this was maybe the first time that anything Disney had been happening. Also got to discuss the power of Disney as a whole and just what they represent as a company. Disney are one of the biggest in the world, especially when it comes to the sort of area or type of field that Disney are a part of. There's other companies that are a lot bigger than them, but when it comes to this, they certainly are up there in the top 10 with some of the best. They also continue to broaden their horizons with the likes of Marvel and Fox and all that sort of stuff, with what they're really being able to release as a company. And because of that, there is just so much to what Disney drops hold and what they actually are. So let's have a look at the Medium article to first see what we have, what we should be maybe paying attention to, the edition sizes and more. Mickey and Friends NFT collection featuring first edition characters, lenticular interactive cards. We're celebrating some of our favourite friends, Goofy, Pluto, Daisy, Donald, Minnie Mouse and Mickey. Each room is personalised to match every character, and lenticular technology allows you to get a closer look at the characters on the card by viewing in a new angle. Discover custom music for each character within the space and flip the card over to see a special autograph. These cards will make a colourful and imaginative addition to your showroom. Right away, that description is insane. It is something that we've not seen before. It's something that we should be paying attention to. We've got music, we've got the autographs in the background, we've got the lenticular design, we've got a different angle, being able to see it in a different way using that technology. There is a lot to these cards, and maybe some people are potentially sleeping on them a little bit purely because it's the card format and it's not something like a collectible, which I do understand. We've saw in the past that the 2D posters and the paintings don't tend to do as well as the 3D collectibles. But because it's Disney, again, that adds a little bit of a shift to it that maybe balances out the act of how popular these could be and the prices they could be at. Let's have a look then at what we've actually got when it comes to the drop itself. We have Mickey Mouse, which is actually first edition, which you would see here, and all of these are first edition, starting at 40 gems, which they're all at because it's the blind box format. 13,920 editions of the Mickey Mouse. Minnie, they're the same. It's the 14,000 first edition of her, and she is a common too. We've got Donald Duck with the uncommon at 10,000 editions. We've got Daisy Duck at 8,888 editions, Pluto at 6,666, and the first ever Disney Secret Rare with Goofy at 4,444. All being first editions, 2 commons, 1 uncommon, 1 rare, 1 ultra rare, and 1 secret rare. That is a lot to pack in for what we're getting. There's around about 60,000 editions. It's close enough to that anyway. So it does mean that quite a lot of us maybe have a decent chance anyway of getting one of these drops and being able to actually pick one of them up for ourselves. As we already spoke about, Golden Moments has been incredibly successful since its release. It definitely didn't see its light for quite a while, and I think that was maybe due to the listings and people were still flipping and people were okay with the prices that they were going at, because they did rise up. But over the last coming weeks, we have saw quite a significant jump in the Golden Moments. And I think it's because people are really realising just how powerful something like that really is. And seeing first editions now from the Lenticular cards, and especially the first ever time we've seen Donald, Daisy, Minnie, Pluto, and Goofy, is something that is even more significant adding onto that, because Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is sort of like the bread and butter of what Disney is. You know, yes, Marvel and with the Avengers and all that sort of stuff, it's a part of Disney now, and I know that, but it's not really the same as what Disney was built up to be. So when we look at the edition sizes that we're getting, we see that the commons are sitting around 14,000. Now, the Disney Golden Moments were around about the same, for 10,333 editions for the uncommon and 6,333 for the rare. Now, they both set that way until it came to Walt and the partner statue, but that does go to show that, you know, even with a decent amount of editions for each, they still are very sought after. If I'm not mistaken, when the market was closing before the migration happens, because right now we don't actually have the markets, Wall-E was the cheapest NFT for the Disney Golden Moments, and he sat at around 1,400 gems. That's what the price he was sitting at. And when we go off of that and maybe what we're getting with the first ever editions of these things, not first appearances, but they have the music alongside it, which we've seen only in the All Together now. So we have had music before. There's a lot to unpack when it comes to what this could actually be. What's my market strategy with this? What am I actually going to be paying attention to? What am I maybe going to try to pick up? How am I going to move forward with this? Well, we have the Marvel Mighties drop that's going to be coming on Sunday now. They had to rearrange that because of the migration and some issues that they came with along the way. So we're going to be getting the likes of Spider-Man, Green Goblin, their Ghost, Spider-Woman, and a few other things that we're getting within that. I can't remember exactly every single one that we're going to be getting, but that is, again, going to take people's attention towards that, because the Marvel Mighties has been one that people have discussed being slept on and are now buying into more. We're seeing big characters like Green Goblin for the first time, which is more likely going to be his first appearance, as they are set for the collectibles. So people are going to be focused on that as well, and so am I. But when it comes to this Disney stuff, I've seen the shift that they've been able to do, and I'm definitely going to be trying to pick up at least some in the first few weeks of being released. This is because Disney, for me, is one of those long-term holds that you don't really care about the price at the short term. It's like the partner statue. I don't look at the price of what's going on because it just doesn't bother me with fluctuations. I'm holding it for a couple years and I'm totally fine with that. And I'm not going to be worried about what the price is doing, because Disney are just such a massive company. Having the first appearance of something is quite significant. I think I come to the same conclusion with the Disney Lenticular cards. Yes, cards maybe aren't as sought after as something like a 3D collectible. Yes, we aren't actually seeing the first appearance stamp of Daisy and Minnie and Pluto, but it's still the first edition of seeing these types of cards, these types of collectibles, and more of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse within Veve. This is why I am going to try pick up probably Mickey and Minnie within the commons and maybe buy a few of those. I don't have the gems right now to be able to afford the secret rare of what I believe it will be at, or the rare or anything like that, so I'm not too bothered about picking those up. I'm definitely going to be trying to pick up the commons of Mickey and Minnie, just to have that sort of set of Mickey and Minnie themselves as Lenticular cards. Over the next few weeks, I do think they will come a point where it will take quite a sharp increase, purely because people start to realise the importance of them. Maybe they start to see it in their vault, so they really want to get access to it, and just understanding maybe what cards could play as a role within Veve moving forward. Again, if we see some other big drops that are coming over the next few weeks, we could see quite a few dips in the prices to give you sort of ins to get into that market if you're willing to keep them for the long run. And I also think the Marvel Mighties with the drop of Spider-Man and the Green Goblin is going to take some people's attention away from the Disney drop as they focus on something like that for the weekend anyway, allowing that small window of opportunity maybe before it starts to quickly rise. Now again, we don't actually know how the market's going to go, because the market's now been closed for, I think it's over a day now, and everyone's sort of excited to see how the market moves, and I'm really excited to see how the fluctuations happen. So we don't actually know how the market's going to go after this migration. Are people going to be buying into a lot of stuff because now we're on the Ethereum chain? Are people going to be selling off because this Disney stuff and the Marvel stuff are coming? Are they getting excited for more drops that are going to be coming? So it's really going to be interesting to see how people react and how people move. Now we come to the final part of the video where we discuss the price predictions of what these could be at, especially in the beginning. I usually target the beginning of the drop rather than saying like 4 weeks from now, because it's very, very hard to actually guess what they're going to be at. Things can change very quickly in Veve, and I usually go for the first few days when it comes to the prices of what I aim for anyway. What I've said for Mickey is that I believe he's going to sit at around 250 to 400 gems, and this is maybe in the first sort of day or so of him being out. Do see that rising continuously over the next coming months. With Minnie, I've said she's going to be a little bit higher, maybe sitting from around 350 to 450. And the only reason for this is because this is the first ever time we've seen Minnie. We've had Mickey with the Fantasia hat, we've had him with the partner statue, we've also had him with all the Steamboat Willie collectibles. This is the first time we've saw Minnie. I'm going to guess that people maybe want her more than what they would want Mickey, especially just in the beginning, purely because this is the first time we've ever saw her. So I think she might be a bit higher than what Mickey is, but I may be completely wrong with that. With Donald and Daisy, I think they'll both kind of sit at a similar price. I'm guessing between about 450 to 550. It might be a bit lower than that, and they might actually sit at what the commons are sitting at. I'm not too sure how popular they are as characters, and from what I've seen, they're nowhere near close to what the likes of Mickey and Minnie are. So maybe we actually again see something like the commons being more sought after, even with more additions. So we could see those prices maybe matching what the commons are, or maybe just a bit higher, especially when we get to the rare. When it comes to something like Pluto, I do believe he will be a bit up, because it's the dog, it's something that people love, and it's an ultra rare as well. So I do see Pluto sitting at around 650 to 800 in the beginning and rising after that. And finally for Goofy, I feel this is quite a challenging one. I'm going to go from about 1.3 to 1.8k and rise after that. Now, this is the first secret rare we've ever got for Disney. Goofy, there's only 4,444 editions. That's round about what the partner statue is sitting at. I don't believe it will ever reach what the partner statue is, but again, it is a secret rare, so I do believe it might start around about that region. Now, I could be totally off with all of these guesses. I always find the newest drops are really hard to guess, purely because we've not had experience of what these are sitting at before. The Marvel Mighties and stuff like that is usually a little bit easier for me, because they've been out, so you have track records of how market trends go and how people value these things at. But when it comes to Disney, we've only had the golden moments. We've never had cards, we've never had lenticular cards, we've never had cards with music, and we've not seen these Disney drops pushed further forward. So again, this is going to be more challenging to actually price predict what these could be at. Could be something that a lot of people sell off very quickly in the beginning because they just don't care about the cards, or it could be something that people actually really want to hold. But for me, that's my estimates on the prices, especially in the beginning, but I do see them all rising quite significantly over the next few months and getting their limelight after people realise how significant Disney drops really are. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this drop coming at the weekend. Do you think they will be extremely sought after, or do you think people won't really bother that much with them? Be sure to let me know down below. I know the video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.